Oklahoma Newsroom. This is an OU update. I'm Jenni Carlson. Oklahoma headed to Hawaii for the Pearl Harbor Invitational, and they come home feeling great about the result. A blowout victory against Villanova. It was kind of close, but they stretch it out at the end to win impressively. Ryan Aber joins us on the phone. And Ryan, how impressive is this win to you? You obviously watch this team. You see them day in, day out. I mean, put this into some context for us and just what the Sooners were able to accomplish against Villanova.
Well, here's how impressive it is. It's probably their best non-conference win since 2003 and 2004 when they beat number 5 Michigan State in overtime in Michigan. They haven't had a whole lot of big marquee non-conference wins over the last decade, and this was a huge one. To beat the number 9 team in the country in a setting like Pearl Harbor on Pearl Harbor Day with a lot of people watching who are fans of college basketball and follow the sport. It's a big, huge win. It's hard to overestimate how big it is at this point for a win in December. Yeah,
for sure. And the Sooners head back to Hawaii here in a few weeks for some more games. But, I mean, at this point, they've really proven a ton, Ryan. I mean, they'll obviously have a chance to continue this non-conference role before conference play starts, but they have to love where they're sitting right now. Not only all the wins, but the way they've won.
Yeah, absolutely. To be 6-0 against this schedule, to start the season with a win at Memphis, to beat Wisconsin at home, and now to beat Villanova at a neutral site, that's huge for the state of this program. And Lon Kruger went out and scheduled very aggressively with this group because he knew he'd have a very experienced team. With at the time, he wasn't sure if Buddy Hield would return, but Hield is back, and Isaiah Cousins and Jordan Woodard, Ryan Spangler. Those guys have played a lot of games together over the last 3 years, and they're really showing their improvement, especially Cousins and Jordan Woodard, to do what they've done over the last couple of games and over the season. It's been pretty phenomenal. Given where they were last year, was a pretty good place to be. But both those guys have taken a big step forward over the last few weeks.
Yeah, you talk about that individual play, Ryan, and I'm thinking about some of those big wins you mentioned. And, you know, Buddy Hield's going to be Buddy Hield, but we've seen some of these other guys have really big games and you know, really be key contributors to those wins. And here we sit in December, as you mentioned, but Oklahoma City hosts a regional. The Sooners want to be right down the road in Oklahoma City come NCAA tournament time in March, even though that seems far away. Wins like this, performances like we've seen, these are the types of things that get the Sooners to Oklahoma City. I mean, again, of the things that they have to love about the way the season's gotten started, that's got to be high on the list.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And wins like the game against Villanova are going to be ones that the committee is going to look at when they start, sorting through these teams. I mean, the Big 12 is going to be very tough with Kansas and Iowa State, especially right up at the top with the Sooners. But they've got to love where they are as it relates to being able to stay home for the first couple rounds if they're able to take care of business the way that we expect during conference play.
Yeah, who knows what happens once conference play starts, because again, Kansas continues that lengthy run of conference championships, but still you gotta like the Sooners' chances. Hey, lastly, Ryan, you mentioned some of those individual guys and performances and what you've seen thus far in the non-conference, but break it down for me. Who's the guy that you've been most impressed with thus far in the non-conference for the Sooners? Is Buddy Hield the easy answer, or is it somebody else that gets that nod for you?
Oh, I have to go with Isaiah Cousins. I mean, this is a guy who was the best defensive player on this team last year, but sort of struggled at times near the end, especially in that Michigan State game. But he's just been fantastic through the first part of the season. Last night had what I would call his career game. Didn't top his career points total, had 19 points, but had 10 assists, just 2 turnovers. He's really taken to running the point. He ran it as a freshman just sort of out of necessity a little bit. Jordan Woodard took over from there. But this year, Lon Kruger decided to tinker with some things and see what it would be like to have Cousins run the point and have Jordan Woodard on the floor as an off guard. And it's really boosted both these guys' games. I mean, Woodard has been phenomenal from the outside over the last couple of games, had a career game a couple games ago, was 2 for 5 from behind the arc last night. he's really taken a shine to playing off the ball, and Isaiah Cousins has taken huge steps forward in handling the ball and controlling this team.
Well, the Sooners are number 7 in the most recent poll out. Don't be surprised to see them climb in the next rankings, beating a top 10 team in Villanova handily. They'll probably continue that rise and continue their march towards conference play beginning in early January. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.